What's up, everybody, and welcome back to All the Things Harry Potter, the podcast that brings you alcohol-fueled, chapter-by-chapter commentary of the Harry Potter series. I'm Nate.
I'm Jade.
I'm Chantel.
And I'm Jade.
And in this episode, we're going to be getting into Chapter 2, Dobby's Warning. We got kind of a late start, so we're like 2 drinks in at this point, so you guys better catch up.
Suck them down, guys.
It's always better when you get on our level.
Right.
I'm going to bring you some news real quick before we get into the chapter. There is a new dark arts light show debuting at Universal Orlando Studios in the Hogsmeade area starting September 14th. I'm going to watch it on YouTube, though, and pretend. I'm going to put on my Hufflepuff Spirit jersey and pretend.
It'll still be magical.
I feel like it will be. So that's all I had to say about that. I don't know. J.K. Rowling tweeted something on September 5th that made fans freak out about a new movie. It was like a riot on Twitter, apparently. I don't know if any of you saw it.
I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, they thought they were going to bring, like, Cursed Child to film, which a lot of people were not happy about because they're not crazy about the storyline and they don't think it will translate very well. But it turns out that's not what it was at all. Because even though she hashtagged Cursed Child and Harry Potter, it actually had a image of the Dark Mark underneath it. Like a revamped Dark Mark.
Ooh.
It turned out to just be a redesign of the Cursed Child Broadway show. And they were doing like a fun little thing in Times Square. Definitely
not a movie then.
Well, I think some people were happy though because they don't really want Cursed Child to be a movie.
I would be down with that.
Is it canon?
She says it is.
Most do not agree.
Yeah.
Oh.
She had a hand in the beginning of it, but she didn't write the whole thing.
Oh, so people don't really accept it as being wholly Harry Potter because she didn't write it.
There are definitely some wormholes that you can go down in the comment sections anytime that this topic is brought up, because I feel it's like a 50-50 where people are like, no, it's canon. She's put her mark on it. Like, it's 100%. And then there's the other half that are like, no, it's not. And there's some real comment drama going on there.
A lot of people say that if you've seen the Broadway show, then you understand. You don't understand unless you've seen the show. I mean, I haven't seen it, so maybe if I saw it, that would be different. I think you could maybe appreciate it for being a Broadway show that makes you feel Harry Potter feels, but also the characters apparently, especially if you just read the screenplay, the characters don't play the same, and there are some plot holes as far as time turners go, and some other things.
She looked right at James when she said that.
And he's got a big grin.
Yeah, he could not be happier.
I will say that as a group, I think we should make the effort to read the screenplay and also hopefully at some point in the future see the Broadway performance. I think it's only right and only fair as fans of Harry Potter that we at least educate ourselves.
I think we could read the screenplay and do a separate episode specifically on that. As of right now, I don't think that the Broadway show comes closer than New York, so unless we are planning a trip to New York, I don't know if we can see it. If it comes to Chicago, I think maybe we could plan a trip to go see it, though.
I'd be down for that. Oh, we could take the train. We could take the Pier Marquette to Chicago, just like the Hogwarts Express.
Oh, we totally could!
Future plans to come, guys, and for our listeners out there, tell us what you think. Should we be reading the screenplay? Give us your thoughts on if you'd like to hear a little bit about that, as it is somewhat separate to Harry Potter, but still part of that Harry Potter universe. We'd like to know if you'd want to hear about it from us.
Speaking about J.K. Rowling one more time, she did donate the equivalent to $20 million to the Anne Rowling Regenerative Neurological Clinic at the University of Edinburgh, in memory of her mother, who passed away at 45 from MS-related complications.
Oh, wow.
So, I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool of her.
Nice to hear when stuff like that happens. It always makes my heart feel good.
The clinic said they were going to be able to do a whole lot of stuff with that money. It's a really cool thing that she's doing. And I just wanted to mention it. The last thing I have in the news is that we went to the wizarding weekends at our local zoo this week. It's not really news.
It's
I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
It's definitely our fun news.
The animals were very, very active.
I saw an armadillo for the first time. I've been waiting to see an armadillo for a really long time. I've been in Florida a few times where everybody around me has seen them, and either I didn't have glasses at the time, or I just didn't look out the window at the right time, and so I kept missing them, and I feel like they're these, like, mystical dinosaur creatures, and I was like, I don't even know. They don't feel real to me, and then I saw it, and it's more amazing than I thought. I know that they're not clean, and they have diseases, but I love them, and I want one.
You look like you could almost cry right now.
I kind of feel like I might.
The armadillo.
And there was a surprise armadillo. They had 2.
Yeah, they had 2 armadillos. Did we post the video that we took of the armadillo running side to side in his enclosure?
I don't know if we did or not. Probably not.
Okay, maybe we could figure out a way to post that, either to the Facebook or to the Instagram page.
With my squeals in the background?
Yes. So you could hear just how excited Jade really was to see the armadillo for the first time. It was special.
Her name is Joanna, and she is everything. The red pandas were sleepy, though, unfortunately. That's my son's favorite. But they had Hagrid's motorbike in there with him.
Mm-hmm, with Wyatt.
Yep.
Tigers were right up at the window, going back and forth. That was cool.
Yeah, the tigers are right by where they serve beer in the zoo, and that's new, too. So Jade and I, and James and Chantel, we're all getting a drink and, like, pops for the kids and snacks for everybody. And I glance over and I see that tiger right there, and it made me jump because it's just that real thin fencing between you and it on one side and then glass on the other.
Sometimes it doesn't look like it's there.
Right.
Being the way it's set up. It's cool.
I turned around and went, oh my gosh. That thing is right there.
There's a fucking tiger over there.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was trying to find all the hidden port keys around the zoo.
That was cool.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And hearing my boys yell out spells with their wands at every single point of the zoo. That was pretty great, too.
My kids were a little disappointed because their wands got sent down to the actual wizarding world of Harry Potter this week, so they did not have their wands with them, but they have been repaired by Ollivander and are on their way back. So they will suck it up and deal with it.
All in all, I'd have to say a great weekend. It was also my birthday weekend, so it made it extra special.
But yeah, and there was Quidditch for the kids. There was a lot of really fun stuff. There was the car with Ron and Harry perched up in the monkey exhibit. There's a lot of really fun stuff. Check out the Instagram for a couple pictures at PodcastATT, in case you were wondering. I think that basically wraps up the news.
Shall we dive into Chapter 2?
We shall.
Plug your nose. Let's go.
All right, well, in this chapter, Harry meets the creature that has been stalking him, and he learns how much worse his situation can really get.
When he first meets Dobby, it describes what he's wearing and everything. And then Dobby explains why he's not wearing clothes. Wouldn't you be worried about, like, that flopping around?
No.
I can't even.
I thought that would throw you all off.
Okay.
We're taking a turn here.
Okay.
Taking a dark turn.
There's hand and leg holes.
Yeah.
So he's wearing just a little pillowcase dress.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
Wouldn't you
I
be
think
worried
that it's
that
like
would just-
sealed a little bit at the bottom.
It's got like a crotch. It's got like 2 leg holes. So there's like crotch area. It'd be like if you were wearing shorts.
Yeah.
It's like a jumpsuit.
Yeah, he has to, like, he has to do what girls have to do when they're wearing rompers. He has to, like, fully undress when he goes to the bathroom.
There we go. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
Romper.
It's like a romper.
Dobby wears a pillowcase romper.
Yeah.
That is somehow worse than a pillowcase.
No, I agree with you because, I mean, I don't know if you've ever worn a one-piece romper, Nate.
I have not. Except maybe when I was like a baby.
But when you have to pee, it gets cold. I don't wear them very often or, like, ever because You don't want to be tits out on the toilet in a public place. I mean,
Noted.
okay, hold on. There are places that it's appropriate to go tits out in a public place.
Well, I will agree.
But not on the toilet. That's just awkward.
All right, moving on.
I got nothing for that.
You all got weird. I'm just saying Mardi Gras.
Oh, yeah, totally proper. No,
Right.
I'm right there with you. I'm fully with you.
Sturgis. We can come back. We're fine. I'm just saying. Tits out is not always bad. All right.
So it describes Dobby as having eyes that are the size of tennis balls, and they are green, which is magical. Mm-hmm. He has bat-like ears, and when he sees Harry, he bows down so low that his nose touches the ground.
Yeah.
It's a weird-looking thing, and, like we've said, is dressed in a pillowcase.
Yeah. Pillowcase romper.
And when Harry sees him, he's like, "Who are you?" And at first he wanted to say, "What are you?" But he didn't want to be rude. Why are you worried about being polite with this thing?
That was one of the things I thought too, because you should always be super overly polite to the weird creature who broke in your fucking room, right?
I don't know. I mean, if something that looked like that could magically appear, I'd be pretty shady on what it could do if I pissed it off.
That is a true fact. And he knows his name.
Yeah, it calls him by name. And then calls him Sir a whole bunch. But I don't know if all of that is because that's over in England. Because it wouldn't go down that way here. If Dobby pulled that in Texas, it would be done in like 10 seconds. Just saying.
Then I assume he'd be calling him dude a lot more if it was in America.
Right. Instead of Sir.
Yeah. He gets a little weird when Harry tries to tell him to sit down and breaks into like really loud tears and says he's never been treated equally by a wizard.
During all of this, the dinner party is happening, and it's becoming apparent that they are starting to hear things. Dun dun dun!
Yeah, Dobby keeps freaking out and punishing himself for doing random things, and these first few things that he does, Harry's trying to figure out what his trigger is, because he just keeps freaking out for, like, the smallest reason, or at least Harry will give a simple answer, and Dobby will start bashing his head against the wall.
The dresser, and then the wall, and the bedpost, and a lamp.
Part of it is because Harry makes a comment about how he must not have met many decent wizards. And Dobby agrees, and then he freaks out and beats himself. And then he says he was doing it because he almost spoke ill of his family, which makes us believe that his family is not good people. It made me think he was like the genie from Aladdin.
Underappreciated.
Well, and he can't leave. He has to be set free, like the genie.
They have to let him go. He can eventually go, but they have to choose to do that, and it doesn't sound like they're going to do that.
Right.
How does one obtain possession of a house elf?
I only know this because I went back through my pictures from Harry Potter World in Universal. There is a storefront that's called the House Elf Agency or something along those lines. I will have to pull up that picture and I can put it on the Instagram.
So they're just like pets.
Well, no, they're the help.
Yeah, they're more like slaves because you can tell them to like punish themselves.
Which is what Dobby's doing.
I understand that.
You can also... I just learned to ignore. It's fine, guys. You can also... A lot of the wizarding families will pass along their elves through the generations. Which leads me to believe that they got some age on some of these guys. Some of these house elves must be pretty old.
Dobby seems like he's really young, though.
And this is one of the things that I wasn't sure about, because he seems to have a lot of knowledge about Harry Potter, and, like, he thinks Harry Potter is a good person. He says he's heard of Harry Potter's greatness, but not necessarily his goodness. And he goes on in a minute about Dumbledore and some other people. It's a little confusing to me, because I feel like if you grew up as a house elf in a house with shitty wizards that are bad people and only think bad things, that it might be harder for you to form an opinion like that about Harry Potter. And I know that we're a little speculation right now because we can't go too deep into things, but it was just something that I was like, I wonder where he